Okay, so now I just want to explore a couple ways of kind of investigating the data set. So we're going to go ahead and copy this next snippet and bring it in about printing some metadata to the console. So we're going to use the map.layers method, which is right here. It's going to list the layers associated with the map. And so if I hit run here, we're going to have to wait for it to to draw again. So it's going to take a couple of clicks to kind of think it through and grab the instructions from the module and then draw the data. But if you haven't changed your extent, it's cached a little bit, so it should run faster. So then the layers on this map, there's two layers. There's this one, which is the difference from average, um, which is the layer that gets drawn first, which I think is why it appears here. Um, and because it gets drawn first, it's underneath this one. But we'll get into that. But you can see that we've got an Earth Engine object, which is an image. It has a name called distance from average. Its default opacity is 1, meaning that you can see it. And then it has these visualization parameters that we'll talk about. And so this is all stuff that we're going to get into in the coming weeks in terms of what we have to define in order to make the map, in order to draw layers on a map. Um, but anyway, the idea is that you can print to console and get information about your map layer. The other way to do it is to go in and directly interrogate it. So if I take off that and I zoom in, and we'll go to southern England just for the heck of it. And if I click the inspector, you'll see that you got to wait for it to draw a little bit. And then you'll notice that there are a lot of gaps. A couple things here. One, you'll notice that southern England was cooler than normal in August, and I think they had a lot of rain this summer. There were kind of some reports about the kind of the dreariness of the London weather, and I think that's why it's a little coming out a little bit cooler. And then if you use the inspector to click on a location, you'll see that you're going to get um, more than just the what we got last time when we clicked on the base map was the longitude and latitude of that location, the zoom level, and the scale. Now we're getting some information about the pixels at that location. So this is saying that the pixel at the location we clicked was minus 2 degrees, 2.5 degrees cooler than this kind of 20-year normal, and that its average temperature for August was land surface temperature was 24 degrees Celsius. And then you're also going to get kind of an object view, which is not giving you the pixel, but it's telling you basically about the layers, that this is the difference from average layer that consists of this band and has these properties. So right now, don't worry too much if you're confused about the difference between a point and a pixel and an object. That's something that we're going to get into next week. The main thing to kind of see is that the inspector allows you to answer the question like what's going on here, and it'll tell you the conditions at that location. It'll tell you the geographic location. Tell you the values that's stored in a pixel at that location, and it'll tell you information about the layers that have data at that location. You'll notice as you zoom around, like if you're interested in heat islands and how what is the land surface temperature of some of our cities, you'll notice that a lot of this cities have no data here. Um, I've done I've done some work to clean this data set to get rid of um, land surface temperature pixels that are not trustworthy, and that's often the city complicates the way that MODIS collects data. So it's and measures land surface temperature. So you'll notice that a lot of the cities are masked out, but you should still be able to see some kind of influences of land cover as we look at kind of the cooler temperature in the forested land cover and the warmer temperature in the agricultural and cleared areas. Okay, so but just a couple ways to, you can again print a console to get information, and you can also inspect with the inspector.